Hi, I'm Brian.
I'm Michelle.
And we are Cruisin with the Colemans.
Today we are going to talk to you about using luggage service while walking the Camino. In today's video, we're going to show you what we put in our luggage, what we put in our day packs, and how we book our luggage service. So if you want to see what's in his backpack or in my backpack, we have videos for both of those. Plus, we've been on the Camino so many times, we have multiple backpacking videos, so we can link those below, show you the different things that we have carried in past Caminos.
Boy, our packing has really evolved over several trips.
It absolutely has. There are lots of options when it comes to using luggage service. First of all, you can just take your backpack.
So if I'm not feeling it today, maybe I hurt my feet yesterday or injured a knee or my back is just killing me, I could just take one of these little packets, attach it to my backpack, ship it ahead for the day today. You just have to do it by 7 or 8 o'clock the night before. You book it. Most of the albergues have these little cards with an envelope. You put the money in the envelope, put it to your backpack, and it's ready to go the next morning.
It's our 6th Camino. We've walked 5 Caminos already. We have carried our backpacks for 4 of those 5 Caminos. But on our 5th Camino, we decided that luggage service was the way to go.
And let me tell you, it changes your Camino.
When you're hiking as a couple, I think most importantly, it just makes us friendlier with each other at night, which can be tough when you're together all the time. So we have decided this is the way to go for us.
We've already done a couple of other videos about what's in our backpacks, and basically everything that would be in a full backpack is here in this suitcase.
If you want to know how to use the luggage service specifically, go to this minute in the video, and we're going to start talking about the luggage services that we have used in the past and what we're using on this Camino. Right now, let's show them what we carry in our day packs. It's really lovely because it's not that much.
So my day pack is actually just a giant fanny pack. It sits on my backside, but it's a day pack. It's just a really big fanny pack.
We found this on the channel Days We Spend. So we're gonna link Days We Spend and give them a little love because they're the ones that showed Brian this pack.
Thanks for the tip. I'm loving this pack so far. Whoa, 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 stop walking. Live update from the Camino. So that waist pack was great and I loved it, but it was giving me terrible back pain. So when we got to Bilbao, found a Decathlon and I picked up this Coachmen, which is I believe the Decathlon brand day pack. It's a 20-liter pack. It's really a little bit too big, but it had great waist straps on it, which I wanted, in the waist pockets. The one that was a little smaller didn't have all of that. So I switched over to this. Has alleviated all of my back problems and has been a great update. So obviously, test out your gear before you go. It was kind of an amateur move. We just didn't have time to fully test it. I wore it a couple of times on short hikes, but after like the 3rd day, I was just really suffering. And we don't suffer on the Camino unless we absolutely have to. So new pack it is. Let's see what's inside our small packets.
Okay, small pocket. I have tissues, one, because you can never have enough tissue. I take vitamins and medicine every day, and I carry in these little baggies my medicine for the day. Now this is muscle relaxers and pills for the day. So that's what I would carry so that I have those with me.
I've got some hand sanitizer and I've got a Pro Bar for like an emergency on the trail and a couple packets of Celsius electrolyte powder that can go in my water bottle.
He's got 2, he would share those. I have a headlamp, I bet you have one of those.
I do have a headlamp.
Headlamps are great for first thing in the morning in the albergue if you need just a little bit of light. Also if you're leaving before daylight breaks.
I've got some bug spray. Sometimes the Camino gets buggy. I've got some sunscreen. Definitely gonna need that.
I have a pocket knife, which you do have to check. Carrying a suitcase makes that easy. Our hiking poles fit in here, and so do our pocket knives.
And I've also got some tissues and some lip balm.
These water bottles we each carry, not for the water for the day. We each have bladders for that. This is great for fruit, like putting in grapes, bananas, whatever, so they don't get smushed. But it's also great for shaking up some electrolytes and putting them in your pack.
I've got my Pilgrim credential and my passport. Both of them are in a Ziploc bag. This pack does not have a pack cover. So that is a problem in the rain, but nothing in here is gonna get so destroyed in the rain that it's gonna be an issue, except for those 2 documents.
Those types of things I carry in my fanny pack. I carry this with me everywhere I go.
And here's my headlamp.
I'm in my big pocket.
I am in my big pocket too.
It's pretty easy. All I have in it is a rain jacket.
I have a selfie stick for when we get into town in the evenings. If we stop at a museum during the middle of the day, can't take my hiking poles in. So I like a selfie stick that I can hook the GoPro or my phone up to.
If you follow our channel, you know I have a gluten allergy. So I carry some Twizzlers with me that are gluten-free, because you can never have too many Twizzlers.
And Twizzlers
until they're gone.
I've got a buff and I've got a pack towel, which is great for dipping in the water, mopping yourself off, all that. A lot of times I just hang it off on my belt.
And I have mine. It's usually on the strap here so that I can reach it around the front.
I've got a raincoat as well. I've got a jacket. A lot of times in the morning, I start with it on and then it gets stuffed in at some point during the day.
I have a 3-liter water bladder. I usually only use 1.5 to 2 liters at a time, but I do keep a 3-liter because 1, it doesn't weigh much extra to have that 3rd liter, and it sometimes comes in handy.
I have a 1-liter water bladder because a 3-liter won't fit in this pack, and usually water is not a problem along the Camino.
And he has me.
And I have you. I've got a first aid kit here, a lot of basic first aid. I've got Advil, Band-Aids, some moleskin thread, and scissors and needle if we need to thread a blister during the day, and basic stuff. You can get everything you need in most of the pharmacias along the route. So this is just basic stuff that would get us by in a pinch. Oh, there's also some Tums in here because sometimes that red wine gets to you. And I've got a charger along with a phone cord in case we need to charge during the day.
Yeah, and we would normally just share that at night with extra cords.
And then I've got an extra battery pack in case we can't charge during the day and our phones are running down and we need access because of our GPS tracks. That's it.
There you have it. Now we need to talk about how to arrange the luggage service. You can do it on the fly. There are numbers that you can just text the number and just say, hey, I'm staying here. As long as you do it by 8 p.m. the night before, you're great. You can do it on the fly. But if you want to arrange it in advance, 1, it's going to save you a little bit of money. You don't even have to tell them all the places you're going to. So let's move on and talk about that. When it comes to how we use our luggage service, I do all of our booking before we go. And that means I just know that we have all of our reservations confirmed, and that's just how we plan our Caminos. Part of the reason why I like doing it at home is because I then know, I just feel better about knowing our plan, and I can also confirm whether or not a lodging will take Correos. On the Camino Frances, unless you're staying like in a municipal albergue, most of the time you're not gonna have a problem. But on the Camino del Norte, we have found that there are some places that don't allow luggage service. Now, some don't because it's not on the website, but some just haven't had it on the Correos website. In that case, I have sent them a WhatsApp message or I've sent them an email, and either they've said yes or no, basically. What we use is Correos, because Correos says, okay, where's your starting point? Where's your end point? Here's your price. It doesn't matter how many days it takes to get there. You don't have to plan them all in advance. You can plan them every single day. You just have to submit where you're going to be staying the next day by 8 p.m. the night before. So it works for a variety of people, and it's less money overall than some of the other services. And we have found Correos to be extremely reliable. I don't want you to feel like if you put everything in before you go, you're locked in, because we make plenty of changes along the way. Sometimes it's all of a sudden our bunk bed tolerance has gone down and we need to switch from a bunk bed to a private room. Or we've decided with Bilbao, for example, we decided to just skip ahead to Bilbao and take 2 full rest days. So there are a lot of reasons why changes happen, and I make changes on the fly. I typically just do it on my phone, and it's not a big deal. put in the reservation number, and make the change. The limitation to Correos versus other services is that it's only for Spain. So for example, if you're on the Camino Frances, it is, you can't start using it till you get to Roncesvalles. But you can use other services for that one night, and then you just say on the website, on the Correos website, I'm starting in Roncesvalles and I'm going to Saint-Jean, or I'm going to Santiago. For this Camino, we decided to start in Irún versus starting a couple of days before, just honestly in part to make it easier on the luggage service, which was fine. It was still plenty of days of walking. If you're walking the Camino Portugués, you can't use this service. You can't use Correos until you get into Spain. But there are lots of options out there. Today, I'm going to show you how we use Correos. You start by just doing a Google search for Correos, and I always do Camino, and there it comes up, elcaminoconcorreos.com. They have the ability right there to change it to English on the website. So when you're here, it will give you lots of options of what you can do for being, if you're bicycling or if you want luggage storage, or if you want to shop in their store, or if you are walking. So you can see the Camino Frances is the most popular, and it gives you lots of information. They even have a blog about what they do. So if I go to book, then I put where my starting point is. So for example, I can say Irún, and then it says you're on the Camino del Norte. And then there was an option you saw that if you're going through Oviedo, let me do that again. If you go through Oviedo, it's a different price versus if you're going all the way on the Norte route. And my ending is Santiago de Compostela. And immediately I start from picking from the list of places there are. Don't freak out if your place isn't listed. Do what I said, send an email or send a WhatsApp message, and then you can ask. So let's just say I'm gonna start in this apartment, I don't know. And let's say my start date is July 7th. And I'm gonna do one backpack. You can see that it's 248 euros for the whole trek. Now, how many days that takes you, you break that down for your day-by-day price. Ours broke down to about $6.50 a day. So $6.50 to carry our luggage, and we use one suitcase that fits under the parameters. Your backpack has to be under 15 kilograms or 33 pounds. So we pick one suitcase, Brian gets half and I get half. We push the limit of that 33 pounds. It's always right at 33 pounds, and God forbid anything is wet. We have not been denied service so far. I'll knock on some wood for that. The nice part about this is that it's 248 euro for both Brian and I because of the way we do it. Now, you see how you book it. Let me show you how you make changes. You can see that I have all of the stages. These are all the stages that we finished so far. And I need to make a change to stage 29. We're staying somewhere else. The way you will be typically making changes is right here on your phone. Once you've made your reservation, make sure you have that booking number handy because you're going to need it every time you log in. Your login is just your email address and that booking number. And so when you're here, you'll see all of the route stages that you have finished. And then if you need to make a change, like I do, going all the way to stage 29, we're staying somewhere different. So putting that change in, done, and save. And you can see it says that you need to make changes to the itinerary by 8 p.m. the day before. Not a big deal. This one I'm making several days in advance, so it's pretty easy. Just make sure before you make a change that you can in fact make that change on Correos. It's a pretty easy system, and we know that our luggage is always going to get where we need to be. One last pro tip: put an AirTag inside your suitcase, your luggage, whatever. So when you arrive somewhere, if they say that your luggage isn't there, you can say, yes, it is. And you can show them where it is on your phone. That's only happened to us one time. And it worked out really well because he said, oh, okay. And he went and found our suitcase. Before we left Ohio, we printed out all of our lodging locations and with the labels that Correos gave us. They're 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. I put them in half-size sheet protectors and I put a piece of tape on them to cover them up. But they also gave us a blank one. So if you're one who is putting it in the night before, you can just print out as many as you're gonna need, and every night you can write in where you're gonna go. Many lodging places also have just like a tag that you can throw on. We even saw somebody who had a piece of paper, though I wouldn't recommend that in the rain. And then when we've made changes, you can see we have just written in that change to where we're gonna stay. And as I've said, we've never had an issue. This is probably as pre-planned and pre-organized as you get. But don't let that intimidate you, because you don't have to do this. Like I said, you can take the blank one, and I've seen lots of people who have figured out any way possible to put it on their luggage tag or put it on their luggage. The other thing we do is we take and we just put it through our luggage tag. Always make sure your luggage has a tag that has your name on it, in part so that when your luggage arrives, the people where you're staying know, oh, okay, that person or those people are arriving. We've shown you today how to walk the Camino and act a little bit more like you're on holiday. Some of you are, well, heck, you haven't even watched the video, because if you're not thinking about luggage service, you don't care about this video. But we have found that it has made it easier. What do you always say, Brian?
Pain on the Camino is inevitable, but suffering is your choice. And never suffer if you don't have to.
It upped the budget just a little bit, but it's been so worth it. We appreciate you taking this adventure with us.
Make sure you leave a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and follow us on the Camino del Norte all summer long.